stuff first.
Yeah, it's like, is that what we're gonna get? And then we're like, well, what are we gonna do for sausage? Because it will drop our sausage. Yeah, because they're doing 180 pounds a week right now for like sausage? 3 days
for sausage.
Wow. And that's one link. Like they're reintroducing jalapeno cheddar like next week or 2 weeks from now. Yeah, but even then, like they try to coarse grind, and like between the coarse grind and it not being like the normal people making sausage, so the links are inconsistent. They were loose, the texture wasn't right. They're like, oh no, and they switched back to fine grind like when I was there. So they're like, it's just like, hey, it like it didn't work. Like, well, not like the one thing that they were saying with the coarse grind is, they do so much that they can't. They're trying to adjust to see, but they don't take as much time now on the sausage to like separate the fat and the meat. So they're kind of eyeballing it and not using all hard fat, like so on the coarse grind, it just like the textures was just off and didn't have like enough fat content and stuff. But it's just, they're like, yeah, we just got to readjust. Are we doing YouTube live still?
Nope.
We're not even doing YouTube live?
Nope. It'll look like it's live tomorrow.
Okay.
But right now,
we're experimenting.
Yeah, we're testing to see how it goes.
Okay.
This is a test run.
I want to pre-record and then see if we can find a time that gets more engagement, so that we can record whenever it's convenient, and then we can push it.
You know what we need to say is drop your questions for next week.
Yeah.
In the YouTube thing, and then we could scour the YouTube thing.
Yeah.
For questions for next week. That way that gets people to be like, oh, I need to watch
engaged.
It. Yeah.
My shares. I'll divulge the story. Maybe we should put that somewhere where people have to be a part of something to get that story.
That's the only butts content.
Yeah. Join my only meats.
Only meats.
Okay, let's red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. You want
Brian, if you want to make notes of 11 minutes and 20 seconds.
All right, so episode 36.
We're starting fresh.
Oh wait, no. Episode. Oh yeah, season. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just.
But okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just start a fresh. New year, new everything.
11:36.
20.
11 what?
11 minutes and 20 seconds.
Okay, 11 minutes 20 seconds.
This will be good.
Let's talk times.
I know, right? Let's talk times. Yeah, so we're not having an audience to communicate to, but I think I kind of dig it. We're back.
We're back.
We're back. Don't call it a comeback. LL Cool J. I've been here for years. I wonder how many people know that song.
Enough.
I hope.
Enough.
I hope. I saw this video the other day where like this mom had all her kids and whatever lined up, and she's asking them like, what's a beeper? What's a pager? What's a CD? And just to see what the younger generation knows. And it was horribly hilarious, but I was like, damn, I'm old.
I say there's a breaking point. And I think millennials get divided up into two groups. Those who remember that when you had to write down people's phone numbers.
Yes.
And what dial-up internet sounds like. Yeah. And those who only knew about cell phones and like high-speed internet.
Okay, yeah. The ones who don't remember, getting that fistful of free AOL CDs at Blockbuster as you rented your movie that you had to rewind, or else you get tagged with that
rewind fee.
Yeah. It's a whole different.
Or renting video games where they have someone else's save on it.
Yeah, and you had to clear that out. Those, the true original lemon heads that were so sour that you had more than two would leave like that acid burn mark on your tongue.
I burnt my tongue a few times. Didn't too many.
Yeah, like let's go back. Like there's this new trend. It's like age yourself without aging yourself. Like. When I was growing up, I could get candy cigarettes that you could blow and it looked like smoke. Like that's how old I am.
Do they even make the gun cap things anymore?
I don't think they do anymore.
You know what I'm talking about? Like,
I doubt no. This new age of kids and whatever behind us, like they soft.
Apparently, there's a new trend of Generation Z or whatever, like where they're using old digital cameras to take like blurry photos or whatever.
I like that retro feel. That's not retro. That's just how it was.
Like oh yeah, cool. Like remember the first digital cameras that used floppy disks?
Yeah. I remember putting your whole world on a floppy. You thought that 50 meg disc with a little slider player on.
What are you talking about? This 14, 1.4. Like, I think it was 1.4.
Well, yeah, 1.4. Yeah, because it was 15 kilobyte. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And you thought there was so much space. I can put everything on here. But
Do you remember zip drives?
I do remember zip drives. I still have a zip reader.
First zip drive that our family got that was like literally 50 megabytes. I just remember being like, Dad, how are we ever gonna fill that up?
That's so much room.
Well, like, was it zip drive or was it the Sony mini disc where you would go into a store, a music store, and you would bring your drive so you could
mini disc.
Yeah, so you could buy a new album to put on your mini disc player.
I had a mini disc player, but
Technology.
it was amazing. I think it was way ahead of its time. But we're not Marquez Brownlee, and this is not MKBHD. This is This Week in Barbecue, where we fill you in on the latest, the greatest, the good, the bad, and everything in between in the world of barbecue. I am your host, Rashid Phillips, and joining me, as always, is the bearded wonder, Mr.
Brian Hull.
Hey, and we're back, guys. We've missed you a lot. I've missed you. Probably haven't missed me, but I read the emails. You guys like Brian.
No. They missed you.
No.
They missed you.
No, it's not us.
Everybody asking questions missed you.
Yeah, we have no questions today, so I don't think
we have two questions. We have one that actually I think will lead to a good discussion.
We've got a fair amount of discussions, but one of the first things I want to talk about and say thank you to is our buddy Matt, who sent us a beautiful, speaking my language, Matt, I love when you talk dirty to me. Sent us a beautiful bottle.
Yeah, Matt of M&M Barbecue Co. we want to like at least let people know.
Well, no, this isn't from Matt of M&M Barbecue.
Oh, it's not?
No, this is Matt Yoka.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay. All right.
I mean, shout out still to Mike and everybody over at
at
M&M.
So, yeah, when you say Matt.
Yeah. No, I mean, they're kosher, but no, this is Matt Yoka sent it over to us.
Yeah, we finally got it.
We finally got the bottle.
He let me know that he sent it and was like, I don't know where it is.
No, and it got here, brother. He's been trying to get me a bottle for over a year.
Over a year, okay.
Yeah, well over a year, and he finally got this one, and I appreciate it. And it came with a note. Rashid and Brian, thanks for all of the help and the support. This was supposed to make it to the Roost. Sorry for the delay, Matt. And since you got a break today, it's New Year, you get a break. Matt provided us with a good idea, bad idea.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Yoka.
I like this, and it's actually a really good idea. It's counter service with the showmanship of a bocce. So if you're not following along, he's saying going to a barbecue joint and the showmanship that you'd get at an hibachi place, you get it at a barbecue joint. I think that'd actually be pretty spectacular. I'm not going to lie to you. I think I'd like to see someone do some crazy knife tricks as they're slicing burners or slicing off brisket fats and just like that. That'd be pretty nice. Like hit me with a piece of fatty from 30 feet at the back of the restaurant while I'm in line.
Oh,
that lets me know you're
like the burn-in sample. You just fling it to somebody.
Exactly. Like I want to come through the door and you're just like boom. I'm like just catch it. That's the move for me. That would be an hilarious video to try.
So yeah, Matt is Yoka_barbecue on Instagram.
Make sure to check him out.
Yeah.
He's been long before the podcast, long before I was on any television screen. We've been barbecue digital buddies for a long time. So definitely appreciate the support. We are going to do unspeakable things to this bottle. Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Turn it real quick.
Yeah,
I want to see. Oh, that's beautiful.
It is.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
I'm kind of glad it missed the roost because I don't think I would have gotten any if it got to the roost.
Whoa! That's a rather judgmental statement right there.
No, I think
you're right. You're right. Corey probably would have drank it all.
Yeah,
you're right. That's just how he gets down.
I wasn't accusing you.
No.
I just needed the company you kept up there.
Exactly. Not by choice.
I mean, dude, there was some mini bearded wonders who would polish off that bottle.
Oh,
there.
definitely. All pit masters are high level functioning alcoholics. Speaking of, do you want a pour out of our nice decanter set that we got?
I think we got to do the new bottle.
You want to do the new bottle?
We did the decanter set last time, right? We had
No, we just got it for Christmas.
I think we have to save that for when we're on, or like.
So pretty.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
We'll crack open Matt's bottle next week.
Yeah, because we don't want to have like multiple open bottles. You know,
Yeah.
we usually finish one off. This guy is. So yeah, this was also gifted to us.
Who supplied that one?
Was no name, but yeah, people do like us. You more than me, as we've established, but it's rather important. Ooh. And what we actually have in here is the remainder of what I believe Munchies NY sent us.
Okay, I got you.
So that's pretty cool. Get that over for you, bud.
All right, thank you, sir.
Mr. Show Producer, come on, snag you a little.
Can't forget Lee.
Can't. Because if you do, he'll hold it against you all year. And the year just started, so I'm trying not to have it follow me that long. Now we can refill the decanter.
Yeah, that works.
Gentlemen,
Cheers.
salute.
Season 3.
Season 3, episode 1. All right, so let's get into it. Where the hell have you been?
Around. I jotted up to Charleston for some holidays with the family,
Right
and
on.
then every year I go out and do a week of work at Goldee's BBQ because I went and took their class way back in the day, back in the day, 2019. Is that back in the day?
It's 4 years now, so
Yeah, and so they're super, super gracious and let me come and work a week and learn some new tips and tricks and whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
And so last year when I went, happened to be the week that the freezing storm hit Texas.
Yeah.
So I got iced into my hotel for like 3 days. So
Fun. Good
this week I got to work.
Good deal,
Yeah.
man. How was it over there?
I mean, it's Texas. It's cool, man. Like I got to finally see kind of like a full weekend and all the hard work they put in to get where they are now, and it's much deserved. And it was really cool just working alongside them and messing some stuff up and getting yelled at. No, they didn't yell at me. They're not that kind of like.
No Gordon Ramsays of the pit room, yeah. That's pretty cool, man. Like I guess what's like a good takeaway that you had after being there, because you were there for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, so another friend who I met at Goldee's, Amir, he's Redbird Barbecue. He's been kind of working there, building up to when he's going to open in Port Natchez later this year.
Okay.
And so he had his first actual pop-up on January 1st at Nickel City in Fort Worth. So we got to go try his food that he's been working on for a while. And so that was really cool. Like I like his take on, like, especially whenever like barbecue, I want to see more inventive sides and new takes. So like instead of serving white bread, he served a roll with like honey butter, like a house-made roll with honey butter. Kind of.
Yes.
He says it's like somewhat inspired by like Texas Roadhouse. Then he had like
Only thing they have going for them is the damn bread.
well, no, I mean,
Honey butter, they're honey.
and honey butter.
The bread and the honey
I would
butter.
rather eat at Texas Roadhouse than Longhorn or
For steaks?
yeah,
I can't co-sign that statement.
over
Me-
Longhorn.
Yeah, don't you give me that face.
When was the last time you went to Texas Roadhouse?
I went to Texas Roadhouse maybe like right when they opened the new one off of 20, and I went there and it was just so bad.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
it was atrocious. Literally, the only thing for me was the bread and the butter. Everything I was like, this is trash. What are you guys doing here?
The last Texas Roadhouse I went to was like, this is a good affordable steak.
I was gonna say, of like the restaurants in that echelon, I think Texas Roadhouse like
Yeah.
easily takes the
Okay, so
Oh yeah, above Longhorn, above Outback for me.
So we're going to Texas Roadhouse for lunch then.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because I'm not lying to you, like people ask me about it, and I badmouth like the experience I had there was just trash. I was like, what is this? This is tastes absolutely disgusting. Like, why is everyone here?
Entry level steakhouse, I think Texas Roadhouse is the one.
I'm not gonna lie to you. from the experience I had, and mind you, if there's, like I said, people don't like me anyway, but I'm likely going to get ripped a new one for this. But I've had better steak at Golden Corral than I had at my first experience at Texas Roadhouse.
All right, we need to fix that, and we'll see if we're
fix
overhyping
it expeditiously.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Redbird. So he's doing stuff like he had red beans and rice because like the Port Natchez is like more towards like Texas Cajun country.
Yeah.
Like kind of outside Houston and Beaumont, like more towards Louisiana. He did a kale Caesar a Caesar slaw with house-made croutons. Kale Caesar slaw is Leroy and Lewis. So it tasted like a Caesar salad with like he made his own croutons and stuff, nice. Which is really cool. Like his sausage was like a garlicky Cajun sausage that was really good, like really solid rib, really good brisket. Yeah, it's like for a first pop up, like he knocked it out of the park.
Hell yeah, man!
So that was cool. It was cool to see. Like, it was cool to be in a line for barbecue. I hadn't done that in a while.
You didn't use your Pitmaster card?
I'm never like not like when I want to support somebody. I'll never use my Pitmaster. I like to pay.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'll pay. I just want to.
Right. No, I like to be like, honestly, like when I'm in Texas, I like to sit in line, and that's one of the things you stand in line and you talk to people.
Yeah.
Like, where have you been? What do you like? That kind of thing. It's like a more communal aspect.
Yeah. I don't even in Georgia, I skip the line and I go to your mom and I just have her let me tap my phone and whatever it is because you won't let me pay, so I just
or you just come around and I just hand you bites in the back.
Yeah, little walking bites to go.
Yeah.
No, you mentioned something. You said his first pop up. Do you remember your first pop up?
Are we talking about like the underground? Or are we talking about like the first like pop up?
Let's go underground.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I advertised it on Instagram and Facebook and said, shoot me a message. I'll send you the address invite.
I remember those.
Only like 15 or 16 people showed up, mostly friends. Shout out to Rick Venatulu. Rick Venatolo. I'm going to mispronounce it. But he was the only one that, like, out of no one I knew showed up. And he's like, I like this. And then he was, from there, like, he posted about it. And then, like, the next one that I did had a ton of people that I didn't know show up.
Nice.
So, but yeah, like, it was like, I did it at the end of February or beginning of March. And it had been in the 70s. It was the false spring that we talk about in Georgia.
Yep.
And then you get the third winter, and it dropped down to like mid 40s. It was raining. Like, it was just everything that could go wrong went wrong. Yeah. But it was cool. Like, that was I set up in a buddy's driveway. Or you want to? What would you consider my first, like, because you came to what I would consider both my first real pop-ups.
Yeah, I came to, like, I know those were like the real true public face when you're ready, like, all right, let's do this type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I dig them both. Both were amazing experiences for me. I loved it hanging out with you, just seeing everything. I was just happy to be a fly on the wall.
You were happy to not be working it.
I was happy to not be working.
Yeah, because the first pop up at it like that I did was with I collaborated with another barbecue guy, another Brian, Broken Oak Barbecue, and we did 3 days at. I'm not going to name the brewery.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, we don't put shine on shit.
But that was the dumbest thing I think I've ever done, is to go in to do a pop up and do 3 day, like do a 3-day service. Probably did an 85 hour week on top of working my normal job on Monday and Tuesday. 85 hours just for the barbecue part.
I remember you were spent when I came back and saw you over there gone. I was like, bro, you're exhausted. Like, what are you doing? But you had a crowd. People were loving it. The food was, amazing. I was just like, he's doing it.
Yeah.
I was just excited.
I appreciate it, dude. Like, I remember the first pop-up that I came and saw you. You were many pop-ups into that one at that point, though.
Yeah, I'd been around a few times.
But how many years by that time? This was before the show, too.
Yeah. 3.
Yeah. You were a seasoned vet.
Very. I knew I'd gone through making the everything plus the kitchen sink menu. I'd gone through the branding mistakes. I've gone through the woes of it. I was tuned. I was finally tuned, ready to go. Like I knew exactly how many plates of everything was serving out. Like we had it dialed in pretty nicely.
And Corey was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, Corey's not here now.
Yeah, Corey's not here, but yeah.
But yeah, he was there.
R.I.P. No, Corey is still going. Happy belated birthday, Corey.
Yeah, man. It was as he's just old as ever. I'm just still waiting for him to grow into that head, but maybe next year. But my first actual pop up was at Creature Comforts.
That's a good place to do a first pop up.
It's not bad. You know who was there to help me get the first pop up?
Who?
That guy. Yeah. So people don't understand. Like when I say like you've got to hustle and grind, I cold called at that because back then there were nowhere near as many venues to do pop ups as there are in Georgia now.
Did you start when? Hold on. So there's something with Georgia brewery laws.
Mm-hmm. I started before the law changed. That's
how long
ago
okay.
it
So
was.
for people that don't know, Georgia breweries could not sell like on tap beer directly to customers. They had to sell a tour ticket where you would get like a 3 or 5 sample thing, and they couldn't even sell like cans directly to people.
They did the New York Lucy loophole because in New York you can't buy a single cigarette. You can do the Lucy loophole, which is you can do an experience where you drop a quarter in like a mechanized whatever, then it spits out one cigarette.
Right.
But yeah, that's what it was in Georgia. So I was doing pop-ups back then when it was hard to get crowds like that because the law was so ridiculous. Gosh, I've been at this a while.
You've been at it a while.
I've been at it a while. And I was even cooking and prepping long before then.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you made sure that their staff ate first.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's if I'm at a brewery, the first tray
always goes to staff.
There was a line, and I very clearly just remember they were like, about ready to jump.
It's like, nope, staff eats first.
Yeah.
I always take care of staff. And if you're in the pop-up game, if you're thinking about doing it, you want to set yourself aside, and it's just good common decency, feed the staff first. But we actually went to Creature Comfort. I called them, and I was like, hey, I want to feed you guys. Like, how much was the catch? Like, no catch. Can I just come up there and feed you guys lunch? And they were like, okay. We literally loaded up. I think at that time I had like a commercial Oklahoma Joe. Loaded it into the truck. We got there at the ass crack of the dawn. I was rolling the smoker. I think I did pulled pork and some chicken and some ribs for him with some sides. And I cooked everything right there on the spot. And you just see like employees funneling in. And then people who don't work there like, what's that smell? What's going on? And I fed the whole staff. They loved it. And the owners were just like, yeah, come do a pop-up.
You know what we need to do then? If that was your first pop-up, we need to get in contact with Creature Comforts and do a big thing in the summer.
You know, they've been asking me to come back for years, and I only did that pop-up. I only did a pop-up there twice.
Right. So,
and then it was after that, it's like things just got crazy, and I was getting booked, and I was moving around doing other stuff. I was at Eventide a ton. I was everywhere. Yeah, it was the first. Yeah, so my first pop-up was a UGA home game day.
It was busy, and then it got crazy. We were like,
back before the dynasty started.
Yeah. And like when I say we had lines wrapped forever, at that point, I don't think I could have. I had somehow managed enough food to feed everyone. But that's when my menu was the kitchen sink.
Right.
And when I say kitchen sink, I mean I had turkey, wings, chicken on like chicken thighs, chicken drums, ribs, brisket, mac and cheese, coleslaw, pulled pork. I had the kitchen sink menu, everything on there. And I'd eventually whittled that down to what, by the time you came around and we met, was my Phillips Phillip box that had brisket, pulled pork, sausage, mac and cheese, beans.
No, the one I came to, you were still doing, you had 3 separate, like, you had like a sandwich,
The
ribs.
Pitmaster pile up.
Yeah. Like you had like 3 different things that you offered. The second one I came to was the Phillips box.
Yeah, I love the Pitmaster pile because it's like I just wanted something that had a little bit of everything in there.
Right.
And I'm not gonna lie, I took the gnarly photos. I sent it to Lee. He's like, "Yeah, that looks good." We printed flyers, all that jazz. Like I was in it, man. That's why I try to pass on the knowledge because anything that could go wrong went wrong with me. I did it all. I've been through it, you know. But I love it. I tell you sometimes like I miss being on the circuit. Then I'll get on for a little. I'm like, okay, this is why I'm not on as much.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't miss going like pulling up, setting up a bunch of tables in a tent, and like setting up for like 45 minutes to an hour before you even start service. I don't miss that.
For me, it's like that Zen moment. Like I'll set up. I don't know if you like. I'll come and I'll usually try to set up alone just so I can relax a little, get out of my head. You know, I've got my music on. I'm bopping. I sort of like that part of it. That's the weird part of it for me. I think because I know once I start slicing, I tune out. I'm gone.
I mean, that's my Zen moment is when service starts.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's for me. I become completely oblivious unless like a little kid comes over and it literally snaps. I'm like, oh hey, little person, what's up? You know, and get right back to it. But I enjoy the pop up.
How long did you cook before you did your first pop up?
Years.
Well, I mean, like were you like, okay, I'm gonna take the next step. I'm gonna try and do this. Like, was it a year and a half of cooking before that first pop up?
No, it's about 10 years.
About 10 years. Okay. Like where you were considering doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it started because a buddy of ours, Carl, asked me to cater his wedding, which was my first catering event. It was like 120 people. And I did it overnight. I have never done it before.
Yeah.
I remember we went to Costco and stuff like the 2 days before his wedding. And like I was just prepping everything, going through it all. You know, I set the food out, served it, and I literally went into the back and just like hid. I was like, I don't want to know if people don't like it. And then his mom came and found me because once again, you know, it's kind of hard to hide as a Sasquatch. And she's like, sweetie, this is so good. Everyone wants to thank you. I was like, oh, really? All right, right on. And the wheels slowly started turning down. I said, okay, let me just keep practicing. Let me learn some more. Let me go back to like the stuff I knew growing up. And I just kept honing it. And then what it takes sometimes is having someone call you on your shit. And we'd gone out. I think I'm not going to name the place that we went out to, but we went out and we had barbecue. And as we're leaving, I was like, what did I just pay for? I'm still hungry and it did not taste good. What was that? I was like, I can do better. And he was just like, you keep saying that. Why don't you just do it?
Yeah.
I was like, well, you're not actually supposed to respond that way. You're supposed to agree with me and just let me live in this moment. And I was like, he said, you know, you keep saying that. Why don't you just do it? I heard, stop being a little punk bitch and step up. And so I really went hard for like the next year practicing. I grabbed a couple more smokers and we went to work.
I mean, there's the other thing is like when you're starting pop-ups and stuff, you also need someone to tell you when your stuff is not on point.
Oh yeah.
Like, because everybody, especially on the, like when you're first starting and they're getting free food, everybody's gonna be like, oh yeah, this is the best ever. They're not going to tell you, like, they're not going to give you actual criticism. So I remember, like, I think it was the second or third underground thing that I did where I was just setting up in a friend, like I said, setting up a friend's driveway, inviting people over Instagram and Facebook.
I heard about you through Facebook.
Yeah. That's how we connected.
Yes, but like you were like folklore because you were literally like just a bearded wonder out there. It was legit folklore. It was like, hey, Sheed, you got it. There's this guy, and I think it was through Ted.
Well, I was about to bring up Ted because he came to one of my first ones, and I wasn't happy with the cook that day.
Was Ted? Because Ted. I met Ted through Jack. Shout out to Jack and Mo. I miss you
Jack
guys.
Ryan, which is legit his name, Jack Ryan.
Mo, if you're listening, Jack, if you're listening, Ted, if you're listening, Jack and Ted, I need you guys to tell Mo I need some chocolate chip cookies. I will honor our deal. I'll get her a slab of ribs. But I was with Ted at a golf resort, and he was telling me about you before I had met you.
Yeah.
And like gone to the pub. I was like, no. There's this guy. He's like real on the ground. You got to know how to find him. he'll put it out and he's gone by the time you get there, but you love his food. I was like, okay, all right, tell that. I started the hunt.
Well, what's funny is like I wasn't happy with certain aspects that day, and he came up and asked me, and the first thing he asked me is like, "What do you think of your food that day? Like, what do you think?" And I was like, and then I went through everything I thought was wrong, and he's like, I think that's why Ted fucks with me.
Yeah,
it's because like the first thing I like said to him is like, all right, the ribs weren't right this time. I pulled them too early. They have too much bite. Like the briskets, like this part's good, this part's not, whatever. Like I was actually really pissed at myself on that cook that day because I got the worst compliment I've ever got. Like, and it made me so mad. So some guy, one of the guys came up to me and said, you know, and this is like, you will get this if you ever do pop-ups or do whatever in barbecue. You'll be like, so I got a buddy who cooks the best brisket I ever had in his backyard. And like, I have a lot of respect for anybody that cooks a lot of food though. And you're like, oh yeah, you didn't like it. You didn't think it was that good. Yeah. It was like I was like inside I was furious. It's like, I was like, never again.
Yeah.
Never again. It's like if you eat my thing, I do not want to be compared to your buddy in the backyard.
No, that's not the point because if that already exists, I don't need to be doing it.
Yeah. I'm redundant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can't do it. We should start a barbecue business though called Redundant Barbecue, where it's just subpar food. It's just right up there with like Sonny's and Jim and Nick's.
Dude, we really calling out Jim and Nick's right now?
Oh man, don't get me started, bro. Like it's.
Hey, those corn muffins are good though.
Oh, I'm so fucking tired. Gosh, I'm so tired of you.
Yeah, like I mean, they have that Red Lobster cheese biscuit quality, like where you're like, this is why I'm here.
You guys know why I'm here. Don't bring me. You know why I'm here.
So like anytime my sister flies in town, she asks me, "Can you stop by Jim and Nick's and give me some cheese corn muffins or whatever?"
Shout out to Ashley.
Shout out to Ashley.
You know they make a mix now. You just get in the grocery store.
Yeah. It's not as good though. It, like the Red Lobster ones are
missing
close
that
enough.
Restaurant grease.
Yeah, that restaurant aura.
Exactly. So bouncing around, you just got back from Texas.
Yes.
You popped in the office. You handed me a couple of things here. We got a couple of things on the table, and I feel like it's only right that we shout these cats out since you're wearing them on your head.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm wearing a new Goldee's hat, and then they sent me home with some merch and some rubs.
Are these for you, or did this?
No, those are you.
Oh, for me?
Yeah, those are for you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've got some Goldee's all-purpose rub and Goldee's brisket rub right here. Beautiful coloring, beautiful specs.
Do you want to like at least take a smell?
Oh, I'd get down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the AP.
Yeah.
That's cooked.
What's funny is that's what they had me season their turkeys with at the restaurant. One day, like it's legit what they use.
That's what I try to tell people. I was like, "What do you use on your brisket?" Like it's on the store. What I use on my chicken, my brisket, and my pork. I didn't take years getting it right just to not use it. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's really nice. I like this texture, man. I'm not gonna point, or break down what's in here because that's not for me to say.
I mean, they'll tell you.
Oh, that's good.
And you know what you have?
Oh yeah, I could see this being really fire on chicken.
Yeah,
like poultry. Period.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what they use. That's what straight up they use on basically ribs and like turkey.
I love it. Yeah, that's good stuff right there, guys.
And
oh yeah.
You know the table salt, man. No, they straight up use table salt on their briskets.
Really? What do you got in Zavala's? Because this is
So yeah, Zavala's is the brisket rub and then the pork rub. And if you're in Texas, you can actually go buy either of these at your local Walmart, which is crazy.
That's big. Getting in a chain like Walmart, one of the biggest retails.
And Goldee's is about to launch their bottled sauce at Walmart too. Nice.
I dig this, man.
And again, that's pretty much what if you go get a brisket at Zavala's, because they're the kind of, I took the idea of multiple different levels of mesh pepper that comes straight from Zavala's. Mm-hmm. I don't go as super heavy as them. They use a 10 mesh and a 16 or 20 mesh.
Yeah, I use a 16.
And so, yeah, I'm a 12 and a 16.
Yeah. and you could see it, and we'll get some
that's like some coarse rub.
Yeah, this is, you can hear the bark right now. This is if you can't get bark with this, I don't know what to tell you.
Give us some ASMR.
Right.
And then
that high chef sprinkle.
Yeah, they've got 3 different rubs in there in the store, and Goldee's has 2 different rubs in Texas Walmarts. So,
no, I dig it. No, I appreciate the swag bag and a pretty dope hat. We're not giving this away because this is going to be mine. But guys, if you're listening and you want us to do something with it, let us know. Drop us a package and we'll shoot it out there. But I'm glad you had a great time out there, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's always good to, like, when I love when people are like, yeah, come learn. Yeah. Just come learn.
Yeah, I want to do that. I've been itching to, like, give some shit away.
Yeah.
To, like, just, let's go buy food. Like, I miss the old days where I would just go out and just do the stuff. Like, when I was still R&D and when I was still prepping and fine-tuning everything. I miss that. And I've been really wanting to just do drop $2,000 on meat, stay up all day, cook, and just give stuff away. So we may end up doing that real soon. May just do that.
I will say, don't go to Goldee's and just ask them to learn right now. Like,
no, that's
not. They offer a class that you could take that do that. Don't just show up asking. It's like, hey, can I work your pits for a little bit?
No, because you got to work up. You can mop for a while before you can touch the pit. Like that's that. Not everyone can just go. And I think that's the biggest misconception. Like, people email us like, hey, can I come work your rigs with you? It's like, no, you can't just come work my rigs with me. I got these bad boys seasoned, fine tuned, and it only really takes one horrible cook to screw it all up to where I'm back in there scrubbing it down and starting from scratch. So no, you can't. But I guess this is a great segue into a darker side of the news of barbecue. Sexism in barbecue. Do you think it exists?
Yes.
That was the fastest yes, I think.
What's funny is there was like an inclusion panel at barbecue, and the place they did it with is apparently one of the worst for sexism and stuff at barbecue.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not going to name the spot.
No, we can't do that. We could. It is our cast after all, and no one really tells us what to do. But we're trying to keep what little friends we do have. You more than me. Why do you think that is?
It's just preconceived notions. Okay, I heard a story while out in Texas. This person worked for a renowned barbecue spot, and they were wrapping and seasoning, and finishing turkeys the way they were taught to wrap and season turkeys. And a guy came up to them and was like, "Oh, why are you doing it that way? I've never seen someone do that. Are you sure you're doing it right?" And they're at a top 50 joint that's known for their turkey, and were taught by the people that opened the joint. And she just got asked that because she was female. That was it.
Yeah.
It's like that. Like, it's like, that may not seem bad, but that's like a subtle. That's not. I guess it's not really subtle. Like, that is a form. That's a form of sexism. Like, they wouldn't ask, like, if a guy was doing that, they wouldn't ask that.
No.
They would ask, why are you doing that? Oh, I've never seen it that way. I got to try that.
Can you name 5 female pitmasters?
Chuck, Charnicart, Barbecue, Smoke Queen. I don't know her full name. So does that count?
Yeah, I'll have her monikers.
Blair.
Shout out to Blair. That's 5.
Blue Smoke Blair.
Yeah, that Miss Erica B. Robbie. Shout out to her and congratulations to her. She just bought her 20+ acre ranch in Texas.
And she just had a recipe on
US Weekly. Yeah, she's killing it. So,
and wasn't she on Good Morning America too?
She was on Good Morning America. She's on a roll. She won Barbecue Brawl, placed in Memphis in May, was on Good Morning America numerous times, but recently she won a competition there where she won $10,000 for Operation Barbecue. If you guys are not following Operation Barbecue or supporting them, please check them out. Stan Hayes is the man, 100 grand. He's doing amazing things. Always the first feet, 10 toes down, on site, set up with his team, providing meals for first responders and the communities that need them. But yeah, Erica's doing amazing things, and it's like, name your top 5 that are alive, But for female pitmasters, you have Erica, you have Melissa Cookson, you have Miss Sylvie Curry, the Lady of Q. There's so many women out
you
there.
have the one who's going to cook circles around everybody until she just
Tootsie.
Tootsie Tomlin.
Always top. She's always going to go. I don't know how she does it.
Yeah, if you think Tootsie Tomlin is not real, go feel her direct burn pit, like the burn pit where she's shoveling coals out of.
Yeah, I don't know how she's not as dark as me working on that thing. Like, that's a freaking miracle. That's what
it's like spitting out 500, 600 degrees.
Yeah, constantly.
It's insane.
She should be like,
Oh, and she has no probes on her pit. Like, it's all by feel.
All by touch.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They need to clone her hands. They're probably like the most temp sensitive hands in the industry. Figure out some way to make that happen.
She's a cyborg.
Basically. But no, sadly, sexism is the part of our industry that isn't spoken of enough, but it is. And I've seen it on the other side where it goes to like corporate and partnership deals where some of these women are just not getting the attention they deserve, no matter the level of accolades that they achieve. And I have to double check to make sure it hasn't changed, but, everyone knows Myron Mixon, the most winningest man in barbecue. Shout out to Myron. I've never had any bad dealings with him. However, other people feel that's on you, but I've never had any bad dealings with him. If I'm not mistaken, Melissa Cookston has more awards. She's the most winningest person
in competition
in barbecue. Not woman, person. Period. But that doesn't get shown. Her moniker's known as the most winningest woman. But that's just another level of not giving credit where credit is due. She's a hustler. I've had the pleasure of her judging my food. I've kicked it with her. I've been to her restaurant. We've hung out at Memphis in May, and I've watched her work ethic. Like, she puts the work in. And a lot of these women do. Your Sylvie Currys, your Erica Robbies, the Bad Jew Barbecue. She's a beast on it as well. And there's so many. I'm just wondering, what is it going to take for not the tables to necessarily turn, but for things to sort of balance out and everyone have sort of like have an even playing field here? Because I don't know a ton of female pitmaster-led barbecue joints. I know a few, but it is far less than like, the male counterparts.
Well, okay. This is more news too. That goes
yeah. Good thing we're a newscast.
Yeah. So, Chuck Charnacart. I always feel like I'm going to mispronounce her last name. We'll just
stick with Chuck.
Yeah, Chuck. She worked at Zavala's and then for a year plus worked at Goldee's and was cooking the briskets that everybody raved about at Goldee's. That was her thing.
Nice.
And so she's finally opening her concept in Lockhart, her barbecue joint, Barb's BQ. And I'm pretty sure her crew is all or predominantly female, like everybody that works in that restaurant. So I think, I don't want to put any pressure on her because she's going to kill it. I think she's going to change the game.
Really?
I think she's going to inspire a lot of people.
I like that.
I think she's going to inspire a lot of like young girls to be like, oh, I can do that.
And I love that. And everyone always asks, like, if you've ever been to any one of my pop-ups, you've seen this adorable little face, Kira, usually by my side. That's my littlest, biggest fan. She legit wants to get into this. Her grandfather used to build pits, so it's legitimately in her blood. And I am as attentive with her as I am with all the other kids that come by, but I try to envelop her in the fold, let her come behind and slice brisket and do things. Because if I'm lucky, even if I'm partway lucky, 20 years from now, she'll be running her own spot and some little young child will come up to her wanting to do the same thing, and she'll be like, hey, yeah, why not? That tall Jamaican oak tree, helped me out as a kid and let me ask the questions and get hands-on, and maybe she'll pay that forward. Because I do want to see our culture and our community grow, but I also want to see more women like showcasing these things, not just because there are women there, not knocking it, but usually how it goes, it's, the man's doing the meats and then the woman's doing the sides. That's usually how it goes, but why can't they just do it all?
They can.
They can, they are, and hopefully more will. Just hate that, there's that whole issue in our world with it.
like we were talking about this pre-show. There is a mindset to any kind of craft professionalism, like the dedication and the resolve and this kind of thing. I don't know if your brain is broken or whatever that you'd be willing to do it. Like, it doesn't matter, male, female, whatever sex you are. It, like, if you have that drive and you, like, that allows you to do it, like, you're just going to do it. It doesn't, there's no limitations.
Yeah. And you're right. You do have, there has to be something a little skewed with you for you to want to do this. Not have it handed down to you like you're old man and you feel forced, but for you to voluntarily wake up and be like, hey, this is the career path I'm choosing, you're not all right in the head. And I can say that because I'm not all right in the head either, because there's so many other ways, profitable ways, easier ways to be making a living than what we're doing. But somehow nothing in the world calms us just as much as hearing that fire crackle and pop and just like getting that right pull. Like, most people will never understand like the feel of satisfaction of seasoning a brand new pit. There's just something about it. It's just like, oh, I feel achieved. I did that thing.
Like when it's fired up and after you've already oiled it down. I don't know about the part of like wiping every single inch of like.
I like it. I'm weird. I absolutely, man. I've got a new rig coming soon, and I'm saving tallow. I'm building up tallow just because I know I'm going to be in there, gloved up, elbow deep, greased head to toe, just going, doing my season and all there, because I season in and out.
Right, yeah.
And I go. So little fun fact, guys, season the exterior of your pits too.
Season the exterior thing or your
weatherproof.
Pit, and probably do it like, what, once every year and a half too?
Yeah, like a real deep interior and exterior seasoning on top of your regular cleaning. But yeah, I'll never forget when the guys from Shirley Fab, shout out to Ross Tyler and Paul Shirley, came by the house to drop off Phoebe. They saw Penny and they're like, she looks brand new. I was like, yeah, because I season the hell out of her every other month. You know, I always wanted to look nice, withstand the elements and stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah, actually, I saw when I was driving back through Alabama, I saw after I passed Tuscaloosa, I saw a Shirley pit on a trailer as I was driving down the highway.
I love it. They make great stuff, man. They make absolutely amazing stuff. We've got a question directed towards you. Well, it's a two-parter.
Well, you want to do the long one first?
I mean, I feel like I don't know how long your answer is going to be for your part, but
well, let's do the part one first.
All right, let's do it. What is it?
All right. So this comes from Tim.
Yes.
Thank you for the email.
And thank you for listening to him.
Yeah. So what are the pros and cons of reverse flow versus straight flow smokers? And are there certain proteins that do better on one versus the other?
You read it. You lead it.
All right. So, and I guess we could throw rotisseries in there too. Rotisseries are more of a pro thing. Like, you're not going to have a backyard rotisserie, really.
Yeah, pro. I would say not necessarily pro, but commercial.
Yeah, commercial rotisserie.
Yeah.
So I'll take the straight offset. You take the reverse flow.
I've got both, but all right.
All right. Well, that's what they know me for, and that's what they know you for.
I know.
Yeah. So with a straight offset, there is a type of heat that you get called convection heat. Mm-hmm. And so there are three types of heat in barbecue: convection, radiant, and direct heat. So with convection heat, it's kind of like a convection oven, mm-hmm. where it's this circulating airflow that kind of rolls over the meat evenly on both sides, on every side, and then exits the smoker. Convective heat is really good for briskets and pork butts. It's not as good for ribs. No. So that's the benefit of something with a reverse flow, though, because you get a different type of heat with reverse flow too.
You do get a different type of heat with reverse flow, and I like a reverse flow because of, one, for me, space, timing. I started and cut my teeth and built the brand on a straight flow. Shout out to Brian Furman of Brian Furman Barbecue. He gifted me my Black Beauty, my 500-gallon Pearl, which is a straight flow. And I enjoyed, and I still enjoy, I should say, cooking on Pearl. But after I was scaling to a certain level, I had to shift to a reverse flow just because of space and quantity and just timing out. Reverse flows for me really aid in the sense of time management and cook side. So I can, once, no matter what smoker it is, always do your biscuit test, always find your hot zones, all that jazz. But the heat and level of cooking and force, it's a little bit more forgiving than normal. Like you can do on a reverse, you can do on trimmed brisket on there, chuck it on there, and you'll be good. Balance that out. You can literally cook various things at certain points, and even more so than you can on a straight flow, because on a straight flow, your first third that's a hot zone. You're not really barbecuing, and barbecuing, if you're getting down to it, is just a temperature rating of 250 to 275. 280 is technically temperature rating of grilling, and I think it's 280 to 350 is grilling, and then 360 up is roasting.
Right.
So usually happens on a straight flow. That first quarter is dancing between roasting and grilling temperatures, and then tapers off. And we've discussed that's why you'll see some cats put your wood blocks there, put your water pans there, put different things there. Reverse flow for me, I've got a lot more wiggle room as far as holding consistent temperature all the way through in certain points. And it's also sort of like, I feel like it's a loader because it's also the design of your reverse flow versus your straight flow. Whether you have a 1-door versus a double door versus a 4-door will drastically change how everything operates. Your straight flow is a single door?
2-door.
2-door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first straight flow was a single door.
The smaller one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My Pearl is a single door, and I always wished it was a double door.
Right.
Because I'm not losing everything so quickly, and it allows me to hold. For instance, and maybe I'm getting too into the nitty gritty of it, of why like your door count is important. But if you've got food cooking on, let's say, the right side of your reverse flow smoker, and you've got something like briskets and such down there, you're going to be able to keep the heat and temp on that side while you fix and load your front door and not have to worry about any temp drops really affecting that right side, which doesn't seem like it would make sense because heat is escaping. But because that right side door is right near your firebox area where the heat's coming in, it's going to hold. You're not going to see a dip on that side of it. But I hope that helped. I feel like it was a little convoluted, a little congested, but.
Well, like the one thing that I think we should talk about with like reverse flow is, so there's that reverse flow plate.
Yeah, your baffle in there.
Yeah, and so on that bottom rack, which I think is good for ribs, you get some convective heat from where the smoke comes back over and the heat runs over, but you're also going to get what they call radiant heat from that plate. Mm-hmm. And ribs respond better to radiant heat. That's why they cook better in a rotisserie, and that's why sometimes like direct heat ribs are better. I've
got a tweak that I tested on Phoebe that I'd love to put into a design. Guys over at M&M, if anyone's listening, what if you were able to have removable deflector plates that went under your shelf? So let's say you've got your base shelf,
right,
and then you've got your top shelf there, right?
Yeah.
But what if there was slide plates that you could put underneath your top shelf that would hold that radiant heat? Because that top shelf, by design, doesn't hold any heat because it has that expanded sheet metal.
Right.
But if you could sort of preload those plates in, that would hold heat and probably help with cooking, maybe even expedite a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you want. Like, if you, like, you're almost like treating it almost like a baking, like a pizza baking stone or whatever.
Yeah, almost like a salad. So the reason why I did that, because in Phoebe, I had the firebox inverted so that it would double as a pizza oven.
Yeah.
And instead of, everyone has a sacrificial plate.
Yeah.
Instead of having a sacrificial plate, I made mine 3/4 of an inch thick, and I use it as a sear plate.
Right.
So if I'm doing when I'm doing steaks and stuff and it's smoking, I'll take out my sacrificial plate, which is 3/4 inch thick, just pull it out just a little, and I've got a hard sear surface right then and there. If you could incorporate that into the body of the smoker, I think it could be something.
Yeah, I mean, I like the convective heat, and that's what I'm always going for. But I can understand why that would work in certain use cases. Like, oh yeah, if you were doing a ton of chickens, yeah, and then wanted more radiant heat for the chickens because those respond. Like that's a protein that responds better to like radiant or direct heat than convective, especially for like crisping up the skin and stuff.
Exactly, and I was just thinking of that because there's so many people who will get like a full blown almost Santa Maria direct heat grill on top of theirs, and it's running them so much more money, a couple $1,000 more to get that built onto their rig. I'm like, well, you could just do a few design tweaks and keep a very stealth rig and run it that way.
But it's also really cool.
It is really cool. I'm not gonna lie, it is very cool.
Like, I mean, there's different things you can do with the Santa Maria that I don't think you can do, even with those plates. Like, I'd still probably rather cook a steak over the Santa Maria.
I get you. That was a two-parter. So once again, thanks for the question. What's the second half?
You have to ask me this one, I think.
I don't have it queued up.
Oh, okay. Well, so Tim also asked that he assumed I'm a metal fan of music, which is correct.
100% accurate.
So, like, what are some of my favorite metal bands to listen to while smoking? So we'll throw a link up there, and if you want to dive into it, I will.
Do you have a custom smoke link?
I don't have a custom smoke
playlist.
I have a playlist for the music I would play at my pop-ups, which wasn't metal.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I know people aren't all metal fans, but there is a brewery that I would do pop-ups at called Little Cottage Brewery, and they are a metal brewery, and so I made a playlist for them. So I think it's like 7 or 8 hours.
Good gosh.
And I cheated a little bit because like I think I put one Black Sabbath song from like their first 5 albums on there, like certain things like that. But I will throw that playlist up there.
Okay.
So it's 11 hours and 5 minutes.
Jeez.
But like so.
Is that what you listen to on your drive to Texas?
I was listening to a lot of podcasts. I was listening to some metal from a couple records that came out last year.
Oh, yeah.
So a band called Wake, who are, if I get into subgenres, you're just gonna look at me like crazy. They would be more towards death metal and black gaze.
I don't know black gaze, but I do know death metal.
So black gaze is kind of black metal meets shoegaze.
Is it black people playing metal?
It can be.
I feel like the name is very misleading.
Oh no. Black metal was like a Swedish thing, right? Like all the Norse people are very, very like dark and morose.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's more of like their intent and what they emote.
So Wake just released an album that last year that was cool. I just used a song. I did that trailer, that horror trailer on my Instagram reel. It used a song by a band called Candy.
Okay.
They're more metalcore, hardcore. Like, I guess if I had to, I like post metal and metalcore. So
not to be confused with Post Malone.
Not to be confused with Post Malone. So yeah, post metal is more like sometimes can go more instrumental.
Okay.
So stuff like there's like one of the bands I listen to early in the morning if I want something kind of like epic to kind of wake me up. Two bands, Year of No Light, who are from France, and Russian Circles, who are from Chicago.
Lately, I've been waking up. I can't remember their name right now on the spot, but I've been waking up listening to like two white British grandpas literally slay rap. We were listening to them in the cabins, and I was just like, bro, y'all are just. Can I be your grandchild? Like this, they're just destroying it. And I don't know why. That's just been my bop lately. While I'm running on my treadmill at like 5:30 in the morning, I'm just listening to them just go to town. That's just my.
I mean, I jump between metal and then I won't name the genre, but we'll just push a T.
I'm with it.
Yeah, and then I also, for some reason, even though I grew up in the South, I really like the underground's late 90s, early 2000s indie hip hop stuff.
Yeah.
So like there was a label called Definitive Jux who was run by LP, a member of Run the Jewels.
Shout out Killer Mike.
Oh yeah, Killer Mike. That's a go-to.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's got some Mike in their rotation.
But Aesop Rock, LP, Cage, these kind of especially LP. LP is kind of my rapper spirit animal.
Find out if he likes barbecue. Let's make him a plate.
Oh no, he was on the show with the Killer Mike show, and he ate barbecue when Killer Mike couldn't eat any. Yeah,
that's right. When he was, and hey, Netflix, can we get another season of that show?
That was
please?
amazing.
Like
show.
That's like, forget doing season 2 or 3 or whatever you guys are wanting to do at Barbecue Sean. Can we get another season of Killer Mike on there?
Yeah,
like it was a badass show, and I've just been waiting tentatively. I think that show was 2 years before like the real shit show of everything happened.
Right. Yeah, it was ahead of its time.
And I wonder if they're just afraid to put that back on the air.
No, it should be. It should go back on there.
It should be back on there. I got some change. Mike, if you're listening, Rut, if you can get this to Mike. Mike, if you're listening, I got some change. I got a crew. We'll film it. We'll put it out there. It needs to be made because I absolutely love that show.
But with LP, he has this, I call it dystopian paranoia.
Okay.
Like he just got done smoking a bunch of blunts, reading Kurt Vonnegut and watching Blade Runner, and decided to make some beats and rap. That's so like it's got this very futuristic tone and lyricism to it. So
no, I dig it. I dig it. No.
Well, what are you listening to now when you work? Besides the grandpas, what are you spending? What are you spending when you get up to do barbecue?
When I get up to do barbecue, I have a playlist that says that's Cook Vibes.
Cook Vibes.
And there's everything on there, like some lo-fi jazz, lo-fi hip hop. I've got some Pusha on there. I've got some Mike. I've got some old school Migos on there. Got some LL. Like I go through it, just really depends, but it just takes me on a wave. It's like a 10-hour playlist, but I'm always just cruising through there. That's my thing. Let's make a note. Next episode, we're going to take submissions of people's music, and let's make a This Week in Barbecue
playlist.
Pitmaster playlist.
Well, no, what we need to do is in the links to this show, you put your vibe playlist, your cook playlist, and the playlist that you would play at a pop-up. And I'll put the playlist I play at a pop-up, and then my metal playlist.
Okay, I'll do the.
Yeah, we'll share those.
I'll do my cook playlist because my cook playlist starts off with old school Timbaland, Missy Elliott and Aaliyah, you know, and I mean old school back before Aaliyah with Magoo and Missy on there. So
hold on,
I'll do that.
I do have a barbecue hip hop playlist. So
okay,
here I'm gonna slide it over, and you just read off some songs and let me know what you think.
All right, we've got Numbers on the Board. Pusha T, I dig it. Grown Up, nice. Chum Earl sweatshirt. Basic Cable, nice. Aesop. Cage. I think everyone needs a little Michael Jackson, even though it's from Dr. C. Okay. ZZ, Legend of the Snake. I think that album was very under the radar.
Which album?
For J. Cole.
Oh yeah. People I love that first J. Cole. There's some stuff that doesn't hold up on there. Like there's some lyrics that don't fly. But I think there's a lot of early 2000s. There's some Cage albums that I listened to was like, oh yeah, this
wouldn't be able to come out now.
No.
The world's changed, man. But before we head out of here, you have a residency that you're doing for the next several weeks.
Kind of, yeah. I don't know whether to call it a residency or just a pop-up in a restaurant. When we talked, you were like, you're not going to do pop-ups anymore. That wasn't fully true. I just didn't want to do the pop-ups where...
You didn't want to do the rotating.
Yeah, the rotating and the where you have to set up everything yourself. Mm-hmm. I wanted a space that I could work out of and have less setup and kind of focus more on food and trying to be peak quality.
Yeah.
So I will be at a spot called Bolshie. It's kind of in the Johns Creek, Alpharetta, Roswell, this kind of triangle of where they all kind of converge off of Holcomb Bridge Road in Atlanta. I'll be there every Saturday starting this week. So 1/14 through 2/4. So February 4th, every Saturday. And we'll see how it goes. I'm nervous.
Nah, you'll be good.
Yeah.
You'll smash. And we're gonna make sure we have that link info, and we'll push it through the socials and whatnot.
And what do you got going on? A little bit of everything and then nothing, right?
Yeah, it's usually how it is. It's very nondescript. I've got a lot of boring stuff going on. I got a lot of the back of house admin stuff that we're trying to craft, we'll give the people a little sneak preview. We're going to be welcoming new shows, new series to the This Week in Barbecue family. You know, we've got our Q&A series starting, and so you haven't heard it. I want your reaction, but I came up with a name for your show.
Oh, God.
What do you got to say like that for?
I don't know.
What do you think of All In with Brian?
All In with Brian?
All In with Brian. A play on your last name.
That's not my last name, though.
All In. It's a play.
Whole. Yeah, but everything.
It's a play on.
Yeah, but everybody's going to think Haul In and All In, so.
See, this is why I didn't want to tell you. I'm going to cancel the shirt orders.
I'm sorry. Please, you didn't already order shirts, did you? No. Okay. Thank you for coming up with that.
That is the nicest. That's a god awful idea I've ever heard.
Well, here's the problem, and like you wouldn't know this, but every time I say my name, everybody originally goes Hall, Hall, or they'll spell it Hole, Hole. So when you say Hole In, it's gonna go. They're gonna hear Haul In like all in, or they're gonna spell it like it's the hole in the ground.
You come up with something. All right, I was trying. I was very proud of it.
No, I no. It's better than anything I would come up with right now.
We'll sort it, but yes, we do have that show coming, which is you sitting down with some very poignant and really cool pitmasters. We're not going to name names as yet. We'll save that for the debut, but we've got stuff like that rolling out. A lot more fun stuff. We've got a lot of new sponsors coming that we're going to get to talk about and do some really great giveaways and fun stuff with. And I think we're going to give away some cash too. We're going to sort that out. We got a fair amount of stuff happening that I'm setting up to knock down. But right now, I am prepping really for the Festival of Flight, which is taking place in El Centro, California, with the Blue Angels and the Navy. Really having fun with that. And we got a lot of special projects.
What's the date on that?
March 11th. And
March
you're like,
11th.
Oh, that's far out. I was like, no.
No, when you're prepping like that.
When you're prepping that size, it is not far out at all. So that's really eating up a lot of the time and a lot of development and some other stuff. There's a lot of really cool, fun stuff. I will say that it would have already aired, because I put out the first installment of my $20 series. It's called 20 for Less, and it is a series where I go to local stores and I try to make dishes with only $20, and every single thing down to the salt. Because I put out a teaser and people are like, oh yeah, that'd be easy. I said, it's a little different. Like, you have to remember, you can't use anything you already have at home. And I think that's what makes it different. I know it's what makes it different. Like, nothing I cook can be from like my house. I have to get it at the store. And that makes it drastically different.
Yeah, I saw the clip where you were actually going and like, oh, I can't get a big onion. I got to get a small onion. You were hitting the manager special sections.
I was.
Yeah, you were hitting. Like, I don't know how you afforded to get shrimp in there,
brother. But that's part of the fun. Like, we've got some really good ones. We made some really banger recipes, and they're all under $20. And I get creative, and I think it's a way to show people how to think through some of these problems and issues, and like use these different techniques and understand applications. There's a clip in the trailer where I say, dang, I wish bacon was on sale. And I remember, like, it's not on sale, but I do know that this particular store allows you to do custom cuts. So I go over and I'm like, can I get 2 slices of bacon? And the guy goes, man, that's a really strict keto diet or something like that. And yeah, like I get creative, and so far the response from just the trailer has been amazing. I can't wait to hear the response from everyone who's watched it since it's live. But times are hard right now. Times are going to get only going to get a little bit more tougher for a bit. And if I can show you a couple of ways that you don't have to go buy 40 top ramen to eat for the week, that dish in the first episode actually made 6 servings.
Yeah, I didn't see it in the trailer. And just by everybody's memes that have been releasing, I don't think you used any eggs in that recipe.
No, definitely.
You might not be using any eggs in any recipe.
No, not now. But I've got some things that I'm working on like that, and I think it'll be a good time. Trying to make a little impactful change over here.
one question for you before we go.
Go for it, brother.
Over the break, did you eat anywhere, like any barbecue joints or anything that were cool? Because I want to go through some shout outs of some places I ate.
Did I eat? Did we? I don't think so.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be a barbecue joint. Did you eat in any spot cool that you were happy with?
I fed these guys a lot of Wagyu and nice foods and stuff.
Yeah, which I'm still waiting for the invite.
You were out of town.
You're out of town. So
I know. I do, there is a good excuse this time.
Yeah. No, I don't think I haven't really gone out to eat.
Okay.
I haven't really gone out to eat anywhere.
But there are things we're working on.
There are things we're working
We'll
on.
be going slots.
Yeah. Can't talk about that yet.
Texas Roadhouse.
If anybody listening has an in at Texas Roadhouse, tell them to drop us a line over at thisweekinbarbecue@gmail.com, or you can just send us your questions or send us nice, amazing packages like Matt did. But no, Texas Roadhouse.
So, do you mind if I get through some? Okay,
Brother,
so,
lay it on me.
When I was in Charleston, on my way up to Charleston, I stopped at Sweatman's, which is kind of a legendary joint. Got some pulled pork with a rib and some hash and rice and some coleslaw. And the hash and rice was good enough that I bought a quart of hash and rice to take over to for Christmas dinner.
Wow.
So we served some hash and rice at Christmas dinner.
Okay.
Before I got out of town, I had to stop at Rodney Scott's and get some direct heat ribs.
Did you see Sam?
I did see Sam. Yeah, it was cool. He recognized me. So
Who can forget that beard?
he was like, Aren't you? Yeah, I was like, yeah. No, I was happy to go. I hadn't been to the OG Rodney Scott's in a long time.
Yeah.
In Texas, shout out to Brendan Lamb and the whole Hurtado crew.
Yeah,
Went and got a meal at Hurtado, got some brisket, sausage, and the Texas Twinkie. Can't go wrong with Texas Twinkie.
True.
Did Cadillac barbecue, which was fantastic.
Cool.
Redbird, of course, got a old school chopped beef sandwich from Railhead.
Okay.
And then had some Goldees while I was there too. And then on my way back, I got to stop at kind of a bucket list spot that I've been wanting to stop at for a while. Archibald's in Tuscaloosa, which is a super old school joint. Like that's a direct heat pit where they just have a chimney and they open up some doors and they got the little pitchfork attachment and they're flipping ribs. And so got some ribs and they were delicious.
We may have to put Archibald's on the spot for that next thing we're doing, but hell yeah, I enjoy it, man. I'm so happy. It's good to have you back. It feels good to be back. We know this was a long one, but I promise you, it doesn't really get better. This is really, we've kind of hit the peak here. But
it's only going to get better.
Yeah. Sure. Well, we hope. Stay with us. There's a lot of fun stuff coming.
You had one story though.
Of what?
There's you didn't read your story.
This probably wasn't that good of a story, I suppose.
Well, now we can't read it.
Now we can. No, we'll roll it over to next.
We'll roll it over next week.
We'll roll over to next week. But it's been great. It's good to have you back, buddy. I'm excited to see how well you smash and kill it for these next several weeks while you're out there doing the pop-ups. For all of you out there, thank you so much for rocking with us and hanging out with us. Please, if you could, give us a little thumbs up, give us a little 5-star review or 1-star review. If you don't get down how we get down, that means you're a Traeger fan. Just let us know. We're all up for it. But as always, my name is Rashid Phillips, and this has been This Week in Barbecue, the barbecue-focused podcast that introduces you to both the good, the bad, and everything between in the world of barbecue. Joining me is my amazingly bearded wonder co-host, Mr.
Brian Hull.
And we have missed you guys, and hopefully you'll tune in and join us next week. Be kind to one another.
Oh, and if you're watching the YouTube video, drop a question for next week's show.
We'd like to answer it.
Yeah.
Or we'll make fun of it and not answer it and roll it over to the next week. Whichever one.